Coming up on UPH, Danny has left Savannah.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
I shall call him Mini-Wee.
Totem man, does whatever a totem can.
And more on this episode of Unbelievable Power Hour.
Sorry about the mess. Everything Jack kills, he dumps here. Bandits, vault hunters, claptrap units. If I sound pleased about this, it's only because my programmers made this my default tone of voice. I'm actually quite depressed.
Hello and welcome to episode 9 of Unbelievable Power Hour, your mind-blowing source for gaming previews, news, and adventure. I'm Dan DeHaan.
I'm Aaron Wiesinger.
Hello, Aaron. How are you?
I'm pretty fantastic, Dan.
Welcome to another episode 9.
Welcome.
And how was your week? It's been a week since we've talked.
It has. Exactly 1 week. It was good. It was super good. I got a massage earlier today, so I'm feeling relaxed. And
a little too relaxed, if you ask
too much. Me. I apologize. And I got a new webcam.
Like a day's. Whoa! Mind blowing.
I also saw RoboCop.
Oh, really? I'm interested in this movie. I love the original RoboCop.
Yeah, the original, and RoboCop 2 wasn't as good, but it was definitely watchable.
No, it was not as good. It was kind of dumb.
But if you want to get dumb RoboCop, you got to watch RoboCop 3.
Yes, and Ninja RoboCop.
That's a thing?
And PG-13 RoboCop. The first two are rated R. Hard R. I love the gore in the first one.
Yeah, that ED-209 when he goes off, that is gross.
And have you seen the director's cut of that one? Because he goes off a little longer.
Like uncomfortably long.
Yeah, it is. It's just like bullets keep penetrating the body. And
stop shooting him.
All those squibs keep exploding. And they knew how to do squibs in the 80s.
Yeah, they were good.
they would just explode.
So that was 1987 when the first one came out.
Oh wow!
Yeah, here we are, 2014, new RoboCop,
and
I was expecting to hate this movie a lot, but it was really good. It was definitely not a hard R this time, but it is a solid action movie. It's violent, but it doesn't get the blood in there. So
there's no. Is it gunfire without blood? Is there any blood at all?
A lot of it is like he's not always fighting humans, so it sort of makes sense. Like it doesn't seem weird that there's no blood. I don't remember thinking like, ugh,
there should have been blood there.
Yeah.
I miss the blood though. I mean, I think it was Paul Verhoeven that directed the first RoboCop. Mm-hmm. He also directed the first Total Recall, which had a remake that was not very good. So that's why I was kind of like, I'm not sure about this RoboCop remake.
Yeah.
So what was it that you liked about it?
I think the new Murphy does a really good job.
He's a good actor.
Yeah. He's a solid RoboCop. The thing that's funny though, I mean, RoboCop is like this big, I guess if you can call a robot ripped, like he looks like sort of that. He's shaped like that. But the actor himself, like he's not really a big guy.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny to see him like as just a regular dude, and then when he's RoboCop, suddenly he's like this big hulking sort of guy.
Beast.
Yeah.
Does he have the voice?
No, he's not that. He doesn't sound as dead.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me. That's more Homer or something. Homer Simpson, I think. Maggie?
That would have been an interesting choice. So, yeah, I don't want to give away too many plot points about it, but you know,
spoil the crap out of it. He dies and becomes a robot.
Everybody dies and becomes a robot in the end.
Did they have anything comparable to the disgusting scene where the main character is Murphy, right?
Yes.
Did they have anything in that compared to the scene in the original where he gets his arms and hands and legs blown off?
No, it is definitely way more tame. His like reasoning for being put in the suit, like it makes sense, but like, yeah, it's just in some accident that happens. It's not an accident, but like he's not getting chopped up.
Yeah, the dad, excuse me, the dad from that 70s show is like, nah, 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 nah. Yeah, that was traumatic.
Yeah. They do throw in some of the one-liners from the original, which is cool.
I'd buy that for $1.
They kind of flip it around a bit, but it's
I'd sell that for $10.
It's like I wouldn't buy that for $1.
Oh,
it's not as good, but it's not as cheesy as it could have been. So, but yeah, I would recommend seeing it. Is really good.
I really like the actor. He is in the one that plays RoboCop. He is in the A&E or maybe AMC show, The Killing. Maybe it's A&E.
I've never seen it.
I'm not sure. Anyways, it is The Killing. It's a really good kind of murder show. I like my murder shows.
I like to watch people getting murdered.
What?
Is that what the show is about?
No. So yeah, I had a pretty good week too. Yep. Yeah. We went to Chicago, my wife and I, for our little baby moon anniversary. So we had a good time. Had some good food, good grub. Ate a delicious Chicago style deep dish pizza from Lou Malnati's, and I have to really enunciate when I say it. And they have very good pizza, and so we
ate that in a car. Too,
yeah, we did on the way home. We went to the Field Museum for a few hours, and we just had to get our fix before we left Chicago and got that. Yeah. When you go to Chicago, there are a lot of homeless people on Michigan Avenue, that main street.
Sure.
And, I feel sympathy for them as I walk by, but you still kind of just generally ignore them. You know what I mean? And I got roped in this time, though.
What happened?
Well, I was walking down. I had my Converse 1 Stars on. I love my Converse 1 Stars. And a dude walked up and he was like, "Hey, can I give you a good tip about those Chuck All Stars?" And I was like, "Sure. Yep. Let's hear it. What?"
Yeah.
Then he just drops to his knees in front of us and is like, "You got to keep them clean." And he squirts a bunch of goo all over my shoes. Then he squirts a bunch of goo all over Brittany's shoes. And I'm just like, okay. He's going to shine our shoes. That's fine. Whatever. He got us. Good job, guy. You're going to get some cash from me. So he starts with Brittany's shoes first. And in the middle of that, he lets me know, oh, by the way, this is going to be $8 a shoe.
Ew. That is expensive shoe shine.
$32 for 4 shoes.
Wow.
And by the time he was done, I gave him $10 and I was like, "No, sorry, this is all you're getting, and we're gonna go." And he was not happy about that. He was kind of upset. He was like, "It's $32." And I was like, "Oh, you're getting 10. That's good enough. All right, thanks, buddy."
Forcing yourself in your goo on my shoes.
Yeah, and I walked away with that
$32.
His goo on my shoes. Well, and I was wondering what that goo was, and I was like, "Hey, buddy, what is that goo you just shot on my shoes?" And he said it was some secret shoe cleaning agent.
Ooh.
And I was like, "What?" It smelled really familiar, and I wasn't sure what it was. And as we were walking away, Brittany was like, "That was just dish soap." It was palm olive. It was Dawn. So
but now you know the secret to getting superbly clean shoes.
Yeah. So yeah, that was our one little story from there. And then there was some kid though that started licking the walls at the science museum. It was weird. There was a ton of kids there that day, and the kid comes running into one of the displays and screaming his head off, starts licking the wall. I have no idea what was going on. It was creepy. So then this week, I ended up picking up my mom a Wii Mini. It's a small form factor of the Wii.
Yeah. I mean, the Wii's already pretty small.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of weird. But I have to say, for her needs, it's going to be just fine for what she wants to do. But the thing's kind of garbage. I'm not going to endorse
Mom.
the Wii Mini. You want to know why? So, Number one reason why?
Why?
It doesn't support the internet.
At all.
At all. You cannot connect to the internet with it. You cannot connect to the eShop and download the hundreds of awesome Nintendo Genesis, all those retro games that would make buku bucks for Nintendo.
Now, is that because of Nintendo's decision to get rid of that functionality, or is it because there is no port to plug in the internet?
They did not get rid of the eShop, though. They only got rid of online play. Okay, so you can still buy virtual console games,
but not with the Wii Mini.
Yeah,
or Mini
not
Wii?
With the Wii Mini. That seems dumb.
Yeah, that does seem real dumb.
I mean, it feels a little cheap, plasticky, that kind of thing. But I thought for $99, that's an amazing way to get all those old games out there. So whatever.
Weird
indeed. All right, everybody, it's time for the weekly playlist. This is where Aaron and I go down the list of games that we've been playing for the week. Aaron, let's start with you. What have you been playing?
First off, I finished The Wolf Among Us.
Actually, nice.
Excuse me. I finished episode 2. I played a little bit of episode 1 the last time we talked. And then I quickly got through the first episode, and then I think the next day, I think it only takes about a couple hours per episode.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yep. Yeah. And finished off both of those and had a really good time doing it.
So I want to know, are you loving it way more than you thought?
Yeah, way more than I thought. The one thing, I didn't see the sort of twist ending, the cliffhanger from the first episode. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
But in the second one, I kind of did.
The twist in the second from the twist in the first?
At the very end of the second episode, you find out who the person is.
Yes.
And everyone's like, whoa, gross. And I was like, yeah, kind of.
Well, the thing is, though, if you do know the comic at all, this person that, this twist that happens, if you know the comic at all, you know that this twist somehow has to be untwisted.
Okay.
So
we're trying to be spoiler friendly.
So we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. But it's really fun. It's a really cool world it's a really dark world as well. I like how it's not just characters from Disney or one particular universe. They go through Norse mythology, everywhere. They jump around quite a bit, and it's really neat to see.
They really do get deep in the mythology, which is nice. A lot of different fairy tale characters that maybe you don't even know that you want to look up and read about.
Yeah, for sure. And I can't help but think of Mass Effect when I play the game, simply because of the music.
Oh, really?
It's that sort of
that 80s
sci-fi, real synthy 80s kind of feel to it. which I really love. So that was cool.
What do you think about the impact of the choices that you've been making in the game?
I feel like I'm being... I don't know if I've come across that many things where I really felt like, oh man, if I had been nicer to him earlier, I would have got...
Are you referring to
something different?
To Toad? Mr. Toad, or whatever his name is? Yeah. So it sounds like we made the same choice on that one.
I mean, there was another scene where, okay, you have the option to... It says glass him. You're talking to a guy at a bar, and it says glass him. And I didn't know what that meant. I thought it might have meant, like, give him a drink. But it's smash him in the face with a glass.
Yeah.
And I was like, I did not want to do that. So
I really I like how it does impact the characters, though, because I really do feel it. Like, I felt remorse for what I did.
Yeah.
And that, I think, means a lot to the impact of the game. I mean, that's really good if it hooks you that way.
Yeah.
Have you gotten over the anxiety of selecting dialogue?
It's gotten better.
I still get it. Better. I still get the anxiety.
Yeah. It I just try to get myself in that mental mode of like, all right, it's coming up. Let's do this.
I am going to switch off of the iPad. I'm not doing these Telltale games on the iPad anymore. I picked up season 2 of The Walking Dead, the whole season, and I'm just not doing it on the iPad anymore. It's too much.
Why are you switching off the iPad?
Just because of I think the technical limitations of the iPad and the interface. I mean, I don't like walking around by touching the screen. And
I can see that.
And I feel like with all the hiccups that I've had in the last couple, like the last episodes of A Wolf Among Us and the second season of The Walking Dead, it's just like, I'm not going to do this anymore on there. Yeah. And the other thing is the save games and stuff like that. I want to make sure all that stuff is accessible because on the iPad, those games are huge and I don't want them on my iPad all the time.
Yeah.
So,
the one thing I was curious about, like when you're selecting what to do with a certain object on the PC version, like you sort of move your cursor over it and you can press like the A, B, X, Y to select if you're going to look at something or try and touch it or whatever. How does that work on the iPad version? Like, do you tap it and then another thing comes up? Or
you tap the object and then you have a selection of look or fondle.
Right. Sorry, it's not touch. It's actually fondle.
So yeah, I mean, it works nice. I think they did a good job, but it's just like when there's going to be, those QuickTime events and the game hiccups and I die because of that a couple times before I actually, it just takes away from the fun of it.
Yeah.
So
actually, I think I actually started getting more anxiety because of the QuickTime events.
Yeah.
More than the dialogue because they are super fast. Like, especially when you have to move the like targeting reticle and then you have to hit like R trigger on this.
Mm-hmm.
And you get like half a second to do it.
So you play with a controller then too?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, what else you been playing?
I continued playing WoW, World of Warcraft.
You did a Let's Play too.
I did. I uploaded that a couple days ago. And so please go ahead and check that out on our YouTube channel.
And don't forget to like the video too, please.
Yeah, like and subscribe to us. See a whole bunch more that kind of stuff coming down the pipe.
So we're going to do it a little more? The changes?
Yeah, like I think I'm just becoming accustomed to them. Yeah. I don't know if I particularly like them, but it's just like, it is what it is. So, but they did add some cool things that I'm really interested to get into, especially once you start getting higher level. It looks like they do a lot more with like sort of guild specific quests and things that you get from doing different things with your guild. I just saw a little bit of that this morning when I finally accepted one of the like hundreds of guild requests that you get sent to you when you're playing.
Yeah. It's the same. So is Diablo 3 that way too? That you end up getting a bunch of people like, hey, join something. I don't know. I thought I was getting a bunch of requests in Diablo 3 as well.
Like you were playing internet game?
Yeah, never mind. I might be confusing something with something else.
Okay.
It might have been WoW when I was playing that I was getting a ton of guild requests.
Yeah, and that does get old. But I finally accepted it today, and so yeah,
you're part of a guild.
Synapsis.
You're in Guild Synapsis. Sweet.
Yeah, although I probably not gonna do anything with you guys, so sorry.
Uh-oh.
But I would like to continue playing, and I think what I'm gonna do is every week play a bit, or I'm not offline. I'll play, and then I'm gonna upload a let's play of where I'm at, and just give you a taste of my journey through World of Warcraft.
Taste of my journey.
Yeah. Sort of as a kind of new player coming back.
I like that subtitle. It reminds me a little bit of the Hobbit movies.
A taste of my journey.
Yeah. The desolation of Aaron.
Unbelievable Power Hours Taste Series.
Yeah. All right, so you've also been playing Elemental Wings? What's this?
This is another phone game.
I don't know why I did that. I don't hate phone games, so I'm not sure why.
I don't know. Excuse me. This is another Korean game. This is a translation. But you are... I think I keep playing this similar type of game because, like, I'm in Korea, and a lot of the games you can download and play for free are this type. They're this sort of shooter where you upgrade your character, you get different weapons, stuff like that.
What was the other one you were playing?
El Brisa.
I did actually download that.
You got it.
It's not in English though. It's not American.
Okay.
You know, but I did download it and it kept crashing when I tried to play it. So yeah,
too bad.
Yeah.
But this one you're like there were those old jet comic Raptor. Okay. Did you ever play Raptor?
No.
So you upgrade your, like, you play as these weird options, like there's a teacher, a student, some weird devil guy in a suit, and like this 5-year-old robot girl. So you fly with those, and then as you play through the level, this top-down view, you collect these elemental power-ups, and then like whatever elemental you've selected, you use that power to like shoot the enemies in front of you. So again, it's not something I'm super crazy about. It's just a good train time killer.
And what phone are you playing that on?
My Galaxy Note 3.
Oh, so is that a phablet? Is that what it is?
This beast.
Oh man, that thing is huge, yo. Yeah. I don't know if I can handle a phone that big. I don't know.
Yeah,
I like my flip phone. Just kidding.
Yeah, those are nice.
So I've been playing a few games this week. I, as we said in the opener, I have left Havana in Assassin's Creed.
Right.
I completed all of the treasure missions, the assassinations, and I found all the shanty songs. And then I was done at that point. I'm like, I'm not going to
wait. What do you do with shanty songs?
Well, you can throughout the level, as you parkour yourself from building to building, you can find sheet music, and then you can teach that to that ends up so that your pirates that you have on your ship can sing these songs while they're rowing the boat or whatever.
Nice. Does that give them like a bonus or something?
I don't know. That's a good question. But as far as the sheet music, what happens is it starts flying away once you approach it, And so it's kind of one of these things you have to chase down. So you're jumping from, no, it's just out of my reach.
Yeah.
So you know what? I left Havana by accident, really. I guess I thought I would have more of a choice of when I was ready to leave.
Yeah.
And I ended up doing the main missions, and it, you know, the last one I did, it was like I ended up getting arrested or something and put on a ship.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, I guess I'm leaving Havana.
And there's no going back after that point?
I think
there is. Maybe a while
I think
from
there
now,
is.
But...
I think you can sail there if you want to.
Sure.
But I love the game, and I'm just going to keep playing through this. It's a fun game. So I've got my first ship.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you get other ships, but I've got my ship, and I've got some pirates. So yeah, we're setting sail right now.
Awesome. And sorry, you said you were playing this on PS4, right?
Yes, PS4. Yep.
Okay.
And that was a digital upgrade too. I bought the PS3 version and upgraded it. I've also been playing Tomb Raider. Mm-hmm. Now, I am somebody who loves PS Plus. I'm going to say it every week.
That's true.
They gave away Tomb Raider this week on PS Plus for the PS3.
What?
Yes.
Oh.
They keep giving away games. They gave away and it's not one a month. It's like they end up giving more away. They gave away Metro Last Light and Remember Me last month on the PS3. And Street Fighter 4 versus Capcom or something like that on the PS Vita. So
that's really sweet.
It's nice. And then they also just gave away, this just came out, Dead Nation.
Nice.
A new version of Dead Nation on the PS4 came out. So very nice. I got that as well. But I've been playing Tomb Raider, and I gotta say, I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. You know, this game has legs. if I might say that.
What?
Yeah, I mean,
you mean like staying power?
Yes, it wasn't doing that. It was doing all right when it came out. Yeah, but I don't think it broke even when it came out. It got. Right now, by the end of this month, it's supposed to surpass $6 million in sales.
Wow.
And it made $3.4 million in the first month that it was released. Now, unfortunately, though, that didn't break even for them.
Yeah.
So
those big games need a lot of cash coming in.
And usually, most games after that first month, they really drop. And there's only some that continue to make money. And this one, you know, is managed to get almost another 3 million since then. And
that's crazy.
It keeps selling because it is really good. It's word of mouth, I think.
Yeah.
I'd say I'm an hour into it, and the things that I love about it, I love the user interface, the UI. Mm-hmm. I really like how they let you interact with items and how all the graphics, the representations of like, this is something you can interact with. I can't remember what they call it. It's like something Survival Instinct, I think is what it's called. You press a button and it kind of just like scans the area and kind of highlights things for you. You know, maybe it'll give you a sense of direction or let you know what objects in the room you can interact with. And I think that's really cool. It looks really nice. It's well presented.
Yeah.
Also, I'm hooked on the story right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of stranded on an island that you guys were on an expedition.
Okay.
And so I really like the first hour, and it's like I want to keep playing this.
Yeah.
I'd have to.
This is just like a totally different story from any of the original Tomb Raiders, right?
I don't know how they handle Tomb Raider canon, if all that stuff still exists, because it's a reboot, but it's also, it could be considered, I guess, a prequel.
Okay.
Like it's Lara, becomes,
I believe it's Lara.
becomes the Tomb Raider. And
she's not like a badass right from the get-go.
Well, relatively speaking.
I mean, she's not used to it.
Yeah. Some of the stuff you do in the beginning sounds dumb, but there's hunting in the game. And there's kind of some crafting elements too, but it's actually really fun. And
like
I would
Cabela's
say
hunting.
Yeah, yes, it's Cabela's. You totally field dress the kill. the act of degutting them.
Oh.
But the bow and arrow mechanics are really nice.
Yeah.
I think The Last of Us did a really good job of using a bow and arrow, and this one is really good too. I like it.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
I would say that I like this game better than Uncharted 3.
Wow. And you love Uncharted.
I do love the Uncharted series. And so far, I mean, I got to play through this before I can actually, give a final assessment on the game. But right now, I'm hooked more than I was with Uncharted 3. Uncharted 2 is amazing. But this, Uncharted 3 is amazing. It's really good. But I would say that I like this better than that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, where my thought train has left the station, everybody.
Derailed.
I'm sorry, the graphics and your character movement, the way where the camera angle is, all of that stuff is really nice. I like it better than the Uncharted series. I like the 3/4 third person perspective better than like the full third person
sort of like
I
think Gears of War does that.
Yeah.
Like
So pick up Tomb Raider. It's really, really a good game. It's nice.
Yeah, sounds cool.
The other thing I've been playing is Dive Kick on my Vita.
Let's take a drink. Sorry. What's Dive Kick all about?
Dive Kick is a fighting game. Yeah. And it's basically a one-hit fighting game.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are you good at fighting games?
I don't know. I've never been put to the test. I guess.
Can you stand up to somebody who is a button masher?
Yeah, I think so.
And win.
Yeah.
Like if you know the game pretty well, you'd be like, I don't care if you mash A bunch of times and kick my shins until I die. Like I can outmaneuver you and out-combo you.
Yes, I would say if I play the game enough, and there's been a couple fighting games that I've played enough that I could outmaneuver a button masher.
Okay.
How about you?
No, I am terrible at fighting games.
Because
I have done that. Like put the time into learning combos and moves and like, man, I am good at this game. Only to have somebody who's never touched it before like press A and then they win really easily.
I was really into Tekken on the PS1 and I got pretty good at that. I think. Yeah. And I could beat the button mashers.
Yeah.
I would say another fighting game though that's really good. I think Super Smash Brothers is a really good fighting game.
Yeah.
But Dive Kick is only 2 buttons.
Okay.
You only use 2 buttons. That's it. The left and the right shoulder buttons.
Wow.
And you jump and you kick. And that's it. And it sounds really dumb, but it's actually really fun.
Yeah.
I would liken it to the tournament in the original Karate Kid.
Okay.
So like basically, you get a point for a kick. Like if you make contact with a punch or a kick, you get a point. Yeah. Well, this is only a kick. And it's really kind of cool. Just a fun time waster. The graphics are like a crappy Saturday morning cartoon.
Okay.
And all the characters are just very mundane characters. There's like a guy named Kenny that's just a regular dude. And they all shout just random things like about math and stuff when they get knocked out.
So it's like
so
Adventure
weird.
Time.
Is it? Okay. It's a really weird little game though. You should try it out. It goes on sale a lot for a couple dollars or so.
How much did you pay for it?
I think I paid $3 for it.
Okay.
It was on sale, so that's why I ended up snagging it. And
Nice.
I think you'd enjoy it. It's fun. It's the battles are quick, but you just end up like you'll just jump a bunch and you just try and time your kick
Right.
at the right moment. So
Yeah.
I really like it. All right, everybody, it's time for news. We've got some pretty good news stories this week, don't you think, Aaron?
Mm-hmm. I sure do.
So first up,
I agree.
news story, Jack Tretton,
Mm-hmm. What's up, Jack?
the president of SKI,
Mm-hmm.
Sony
That's how it's
Computer Entertainment of America. Is that right?
Yep. Perfect.
He is stepping down as president of SKI.
Because he's doing such a terrible job.
Yeah, I don't
that
know.
They were like, you know what? Get out.
But he's been there for almost 20 years. He's helped launch every PlayStation to date. And for the most part,
That's crazy.
aside from the PS3, which, wasn't a disaster, but
Yeah. It was kind of bleh.
they've had some pretty amazing success.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you think this is something about his leadership, or do you think it's just like, hey, I've been here 20 years, I'm ready to go?
I'm guessing he's just getting sick of it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's leaving while the PS4 is doing incredibly well. I mean, I don't think that there's anybody who would be unhappy with his performance. So yeah, I mean, it would be a weird time if he was being forced out somehow. But so I'm guessing he's just like, I'm going to do something else. And
Yeah.
I know that they already have somebody else lined up to take his spot within Sony from a somewhat related division.
Yeah, Sean Layden. He's a VP and COO of SNI,
Yeah, that's
Sony,
right.
Sony something or other, Network Entertainment Institution. But yeah, they just released, that the PS4 has surpassed 6 million in sales, or is about to, with the release in Japan. So yeah,
it's doing crazy well.
I just don't think it's anything like, I don't think there's a scandal or something weird.
No.
So everything seems like they're leaving on good terms, and it's just time.
Yeah.
But-
I mean, let's just hope. I mean, I'm sure since the PS4 is already it's left the station, it's doing real well. I don't think, unless Sean decides to really muck things up, that it's suddenly going to do poorly.
And how much really though decision comes out of the American branch of Sony versus, is Japan kind of leading the way on that development? I don't know where it starts.
I kind of don't think so, because Japan just got it. I would think if it was the other way around, wouldn't Japan get it first? Maybe.
I don't know. It's weird. I think that was one thing I was looking at. It's weird that it was just released in Japan.
Yeah.
So yeah. Little weirdness, but
strange.
Congrats to that rich white dude who's retiring from Sony.
Way to go, Jack.
You know what's going to be a movie? The Last of Us.
What?
Yeah, it's going to be adapted into a movie, and it looks like Sam Raimi of Evil Dead fame and Spider-Man is listed as a producer.
Yeah.
So Screen Gems is the studio that's going to bring this movie to the big screen. And
what else did they make?
I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head.
The Resident Evil franchise.
Oh,
that film franchise.
Well, then there's a lot
that
going on
made
for this.
Me a little nervous.
Yeah. You know what though? I'm nervous anyways because The Last of Us doesn't need to be a movie.
It is a movie.
I just don't see how they can improve. I think a movie should bring something to the big screen that maybe the video game couldn't.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that this will do is if there are people that don't play the game, they will get to experience the story.
Yeah.
That would be about it. But with the track record of most video game movies, that's a big risk.
Yeah. I would say so. I mean, are you a fan of the Resident Evil movies?
You know, I would say that the first Resident Evil movie has been a guilty pleasure of mine. I did like that with Mila Jovovich, I think is her name. And and Michelle Rodriguez. But did you like him?
No. No, I did not.
I don't know. I've seen like maybe a couple more of them. Yeah, there's like 6 or 7 of them.
Yeah, there's. I think there was quite a few that went, straight to DVD.
No, they were all in the theater.
They were all in the theater.
Yes, because they were like 3D movies and stuff.
I don't know why they were so popular.
They make money though. If you look them up, they're making money. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably because they just like crap them out and
people know the name Resident Evil, so they go.
And Mila has that star power that just brings people to the theaters.
Sure.
Hey. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think this can be. I kind of hope this doesn't make it to the theaters. I hope it just gets caught in development hell and doesn't ever happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Sam Raimi's, he's obviously done some good works.
Yeah.
In his career.
So.
I did not like the Superman movie that he jumped ship on X-Men 3 to create.
What?
No.
Like
he was Sam directing.
Raimi. No. That's Brian.
Oh, sorry. You're right. Brian.
Let's play the we can't remember a last name game.
Yay.
Brian.
Sorry, wrong person.
Yes.
Wrong person. My bad.
Whoops. All right. Yeah, I just I'm not sure. I think Sam Raimi has a good track record, but he's not directing it. He's only producing it, so he's going to pay someone to do it. And now you may be wondering, why is Screen Gems making this and not Sony Pictures? Well, Sony owns Screen Gems. Yeah. So they're the parent company to them. So whatever. We'll see what happens, and maybe it'll make the light of day. Maybe it won't.
Yeah.
So moving on, the Xbox One will now include a redeemable digital copy of Forza?
I think it's Forza.
So, and this is only available at select retailers. They haven't released the list of them yet, but I don't care.
You're not a Forza fan?
Not really. And
what about Gran Turismo?
No, not really. Give me some Need for Speed or some, something arcadey. I like dirt.
You're one of those guys.
I also like, I like the Rallycross. That's probably my favorite of the racing games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, I understand the appeal. I understand why people like it, but, I think there's Xbox One, Microsoft, they're trying to dig up some sales, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
They're lagging a little, even though they're kind of like, hey, we've shipped 20 million units. Well, how many of you sold?
Yeah, they're sitting in boxes.
I've heard reports of people saying the Wii U is outselling the Xbox One at some stores, like retailers. But I don't know that I quite believe that, but
yeah,
it sounds like the Xbox One is, though, a relative success.
Yeah,
it's doing well. It's just the PS4 is doing better.
Sure.
And I want an Xbox One eventually, but I'm gonna wait till it's cheaper. Like, I need a pretty hefty price cut before I'm gonna get one.
Yeah, $500 is pretty pricey for a system that's not. It doesn't really have any games aside from the upcoming Titanfall. I don't think it has any really great system sellers.
Yeah, which we can get Titanfall on the computer.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah.
I do like the Dead Rising games. I have fun with those, but
yeah, I wouldn't buy a $500 machine for Dead Rising though.
And I can guarantee. Well, I was going to say I can guarantee Dead Rising will be on PlayStation, but Microsoft owns it now, so it won't be.
Yeah. I mean, I like the Forza series, and I really like Gran Turismo. I mean, they're even if you just look at the screenshots, it's a beautiful game.
Yeah.
Like, especially the newer ones, they do an amazing job with the graphics in these. But again, I still don't know that I like it that much for it to sell me a system.
Yeah.
But
I really wanted to work in Forza, more like Fartza joke.
Get it?
I guess I just had to wrench it in there like that.
Well done.
So, do you know what the Ouya is?
I do.
It's that little mini $100 console that basically plays kind of mobile-y games.
Yeah, the little cube that could.
Yeah, the little cube that could. It was a Kickstarter campaign, and they ended up making their goals and released it. And it's just nobody. There's not a lot of games that people really want to play on it, so it isn't really taking off. But they're trying to start kind of this software, this platform that their games can be played on any system.
Ooh.
And it's called Ouya Everywhere.
Yeah.
So they're hoping that eventually, like just like you'd have a Netflix app on a TV,
sure,
there would be Ouya Everywhere that you can get games. I'm not sure if it's going to be streaming though, or that you would download the games individually.
I think in like the specific what they call micro consoles.
Yeah.
That I believe those are download, and then it's sort of separate, but they want to have the ability to stream games.
Okay.
Like from the PC as like sort of a separate bonus.
Oh, gotcha. So it looks Mad Catz is putting out they have the micro console, the Mojo. And so that's going to be the first to feature Ouya Everywhere.
Yeah. You don't have an Ouya, do you?
No. I don't. At one point, like just as an impulse, I was like, it's $99. What's it going to hurt? But then I was just like, no, thanks.
I'll pass.
Yeah. And I heard the controller is stinky. And so
got really bad reviews on that.
Like buttons get stuck and stuff like that. And like they give you instructions on how to shave the opening for the button. Oh, that sounds awesome.
That's awesome. Talk about polish.
How about you just send me the controller in pieces and make me put the whole thing together?
Yeah.
You dummies.
I think they corrected some of those issues with the controller later on. But then, like we were talking earlier, it's starting to sound more like the Steam OS with wanting to install it on different devices. I mean, it's not going to be just the Ouya Cube anymore. If they're going to have it available just to download and use on any device that you have.
Yeah, there isn't really going to be a reason to buy the Ouya hardware at this point.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool, though. I think I like the idea of like even, Steam coming to everything. That would be sweet. I'd like that. So, oh well. Moving on. Okay, so our last story is about South Park: The Stick of Truth. It was released last week, and I want to play this. I want to play this. I think it looks funny. It looks like a South Park episode, and it sounds like it's enough of an RPG that it's fun.
Yeah.
But it's run into, some problems with being released in other countries, and it's getting pretty heavily edited. Most recently, it was announced that it's going to be delayed in Germany and Austria because it contains a bunch of swastikas. Yeah.
They don't like those.
No, they don't.
No.
And I understand this. I don't think it's dumb or anything. In those countries, the swastika is considered an unconstitutional symbol.
Yeah, it is not allowed anymore.
I can understand. You can get fined and have to spend time in jail for like using a swastika in public.
Yeah.
So the game's also been censored in Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and Australia. And there's in those countries there were like 7 different scenes that were censored out of the game.
Yeah.
Those scenes, though, don't really make me want to play the game when I actually read what they are. Do you want to hear what these are?
Give me an example.
I've got 3 examples. One is a mini game in which a doctor performs an abortion on the player.
Okay. That's...
Then
next.
There's a mini game where the player performs an abortion on the character Randy.
God. Uh-huh.
And then there are about 5 anal probing scenes.
Okay.
That have also been removed.
Yeah. That was, I mean, that's not going against South Park comedy culture. That seems about right.
Well,
not that I'm like, yeah. That's about...
Well, I know
it's
that...
not surprising.
I think your character, though, is a male. And it sounds, Randy is a male also.
Sure.
So I'm not sure what... I'm wondering if there's some sort of alien baby or something like that.
Yeah.
It's still awkward.
Yeah.
But I do like the show, and I think this game, I'll eventually, if it goes on sale, I'll still play it. But yeah, that's a little weird. So we'll see. But as far as the swastika thing, I can completely understand why. I mean, really, if you look at the U.S., we talk about World War II all the time. And we're like, hey, here's movies and games and all this stuff about World War II. And I could see how it's like, we really don't want to hear about World War II.
Yeah, that's enough.
All right, guys, we get it.
Yeah.
We really screwed up. And then you kicked our ass. Yeah, so...
Yeah, I mean, and it's not like they won't get the game. It's just being delayed until they can cut those parts out.
Yeah.
And give it back.
And then they'll be able to do all the other gross stuff that's still in the game.
Yeah, don't worry.
All right, everybody, it's time for random stuff. This is where Aaron and I just talk about whatever crap is on our mind that we enjoy, that we like. So, hey, random stuff. Aaron, how about you lead us off for random stuff this week, since we're kind of talking about the same thing.
Yeah, it's pretty related. I wanted to talk about some other hobbies that we have that are not specific to video games, things I'll label nerd hobbies, although that's sort of a subjective word. So yeah, like I don't like telling people about this because it's sort of it's like I used to view Dungeons and Dragons as being like too nerdy.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy the game Warhammer 40,000.
You nerd.
That's why.
You mean this is all the figurines and stuff that
this is the game that's played on a 6-foot by 4-foot tabletop with terrain and figures and rulers and big thick tomes of figuring out unit distance and cover mechanics and stuff. It's really... I remember even being a kid in the comic book store and seeing the old Warhammer 40K boxes and seeing these massive, like, weird robot castle looking things.
Yeah.
Because it's all this like very Victorian looking, not really steampunk, but yeah, it just looked cool. But they're all super expensive. So like as a kid, you could never get into the game.
Yeah.
I mean, but then as an adult, I think I've spent at least $1,000 on like,
holy cow,
buying the books, the figures. I mean, talking about one, like maybe, I don't know, 2-inch plastic resin figure is like $40. I mean,
and
it's
you
a
paint
nicely
it yourself.
Yeah, it's a very nicely sculpted model, and then you have to put it together, you glue it together, and then prime it and glue it. And I mean,
sounds like an Ouya controller.
Yeah, probably works better than the Ouya controller as a controller. But yeah, like just that part of the hobby, just making the figures and painting them and getting into the world. There's so much lore in 40K that I really loved it. And I didn't play the game nearly as much as I actually just like got the figures, like put together an army. Like I built a table, playing table in my basement. And I made it sort of modular because it's a big thing, a 6 foot by 4 foot table.
Yeah, that's a big table.
Yeah.
Now, do you play with dice? Like, is it kind of a turn-based tactical game, and then there's like dice rolling, or how do you play this game?
That is exactly right.
Oh wow!
Yeah, you get a bunch of 6-sided die, and I mean, I'm not going to go into it, but like there are different mechanics you have to roll for per unit or like per ability that they have, and like. Excuse me.
What is you are so gassy.
I'm having some problems.
Hey, Grandpa.
So you have to also, bust out the ruler and measure how far your units can run or walk, or if they're going through dangerous terrain, then you have to make a roll for that to see if they can get through. It's really complicated, and it's very easy to play wrong.
Oh yeah.
But it's really fun. I think the problem is because the complexity is such a huge barrier to entry that like not many people play, and the people that do play are sometimes those comic book guys.
Oh, is there then like some sort of story that you create around when you're playing?
It doesn't have to. There are some books that you can buy that will have like specific campaigns.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is you'll roll to see what game type you play, and then it's a matter of like it can be played, well, I guess with as many players as you want, but typically, between 2 and 4 players. How long just taking turns.
How long does a typical game last?
It depends. Like it uses a point system, so each character or each unit is worth a certain number of points. And so if you say, okay, we're going to play a 500 point game, then each of you chooses 500 points worth of units, and then you play with those. And there are certain limitations on the unit types you have to use and that kind of stuff. So you can, like a 500 point game might take a couple hours, but like a 2,000 point game would take like a weekend.
Wow.
So, I mean, it ranges quite a bit.
So if you have a couple grand in the bank, go ahead, start playing Warhammer.
Yeah, I mean, you can get like the boxed starter sets for, I think they're now a little over $100, and you get like what you need to play a super basic game. So you can get into it relatively, I say relatively cheaply. But then like the book itself, like the huge tome of a rule book, if you get the official one, it's like $75. And everything going along with it is expensive, but I love it. And it's too bad that I couldn't play it more and that I don't have my stuff here.
Yeah. You probably have a ton of cool stuff that I'm going to go to your parents' house and steal.
What are you doing here, Dan?
Well, Aaron said I could have this because he's never coming back. So what other nerd stuff do you do that you consider nerd? Is that the big one?
I used to play Magic a lot.
Yeah.
When I was in middle school and high school. And yeah, I guess that was pretty nerdy at the time.
I love the comic books. And that's what I wanted to bring up today is a particular comic book that I read is The Sixth Gun.
Tell me about it.
And I like the hard copies. Some things I get the hard copies for. Other things I use Comixology on my iPad to read. It's just so vibrant on that iPad. The artwork looks awesome. And sometimes when you read the hard copies, you have to take the print into account. So the artwork may look a little different based on what it's printed on.
Sure.
But The Sixth Gun is kind of a supernatural Western. And
okay, I like it.
It's about these 6 pistolas, and each of them have special powers that they grant the owner of the gun.
Yeah.
And one of them is immortality, or one of them is like it shoots the flames of hell out of the gun.
Okay.
And so the owner is then tied to that pistol until they die. So it's got a lot of like really cool supernatural elements. Like there's a lot of different supernatural characters in different regions, and it's just very exotic and awesome. And it reminds me of the good parts of the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
You know how like Enchanted and they, just wherever they would travel, there was something, some new character, some new like creature, some new force that they had to face.
Yeah.
And that's very similar to this comic. I think it's really good. The writing style is awesome. The artwork I love. I think it looks very nice. And there's just a ton of great otherworldly characters.
Yeah.
And the main story is that there's this general that
sorry, this is like American Old West setting?
Yes, I would say it is. I mean, there's so much supernatural stuff in it though that it's such a blend between the two, but yes, American Old West.
Okay.
Or I mean, like they'll go down to an area that might be like New Orleans, and there'll be kind of like that culture's monsters or creatures are in that area, and maybe there'll be Native Americans that that have different kind of creatures and scary things.
Yeah,
in that area, but it's about this general that. He owns like the worst of all the guns, and they, right off the bat, it's about him dying, coming back to life, dying, and they talk about his resurrection and stuff like that. And so that is just looming. Is this guy going to come back? And kind of reminds me of Harry Potter, like Voldemort kind of thing.
Sure.
So, but I love it. I mean, it's probably right now, it is my favorite comic. I read others. I really like The Walking Dead. I continue to read that. It's not as good as it used to be, but I still enjoy reading it.
Yeah.
Except sometimes it feels like it's a 5-minute read. It's just like a new issue comes in and you just read it. That's why I like the trades a little better, where they're the collected issues.
Yeah.
Because that one, 45 minutes, something like that to get through.
Sure.
But other comics I read, Sweet Tooth is really good. I finished that. Let's see what else. I can't remember. I've got another one that I read and I can't remember it. Oh, crap. Chew is really good.
Chew? Okay, I remember you talking about that. Oh, wait, that's where the detective takes a bite out of the body.
Yes, and you can see what happened. Like, like he's a psychic through taste.
Yeah.
And it's kind of creepy weird.
Yeah.
But I love it. One of my favorites. This one just finished up. It's Lock and Key, and that one is by Joe Hill, who is Stephen King's son.
No.
And that one was really good too.
Yeah.
And I like the comics that have an end, like in sight, like planned in, not the comics that just go on forever.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why, like, The Walking Dead is starting to feel like it's going to go on forever. Like, is there an end in sight to this or not?
Yeah.
So originally I thought I heard that it was only supposed to be 100 issues, and now it's like it's going to be 200 or something like that. Yeah. It would have been an amazing 100 issue series.
Yeah.
And
just cap it off.
Yeah.
Great.
So, yeah, I like that. That's probably one of my nerdier things that I would say. I also get into a lot of tech stuff, like, I like technology a bunch, computers. I built a computer, and that kind of thing is probably a nerdier side of me.
So, like, I'm curious, like, with 40K, I sort of feel embarrassed to bring it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But do you have something that, like, you don't really like to bring up unless you've known someone for a while, like, hey, I've got this hobby. I like this thing.
I mean, besides the Spice Girls?
Besides the Spice Girls.
I would say it's probably more of my guilty pleasures that I'm more apprehensive, about. But
yeah,
I don't think I'm pretty out there. I mean, board games, I play a lot of board games, but none of it I'm like afraid to bring up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's pretty much it. You know what we got to do?
What's that?
The retro game of the week.
Sure do.
Hey, what is it?
We're going to talk about One Must Fall 2029.
I've never heard of this game. This is the first I've heard of it. Whoa.
So get ready for giant battling caged robots. This came out in 93, long time ago, and I used to play the crap out of this with my other friend Dan.
Evil Dan.
Evil Dan. I used to play this with. So this was back, like, there were a lot of shareware games, and a lot of games would release a demo that it didn't put like a timer on it. You could play it as much as you wanted, but it would be limited in some way. And so that's what my experience with One Must Fall 2029 is, or was.
You just play the demo over and over again?
Yeah, I mean, like, you have access to one arena, and that was the thing that they sort of locked out. Like, you can play this one arena and fight, but you have access to all the robots and the upgrades and stuff like that.
That's interesting, because that seems like, who cares about the arena? What does the arena do to mix up the game?
Exactly. That's why we never cared about buying the actual game. I think maybe there was one or two robots that you couldn't play, but they looked sort of dumb anyway, so we didn't really care.
Well, speaking of dumb, the game looks dumb. It looks like a really dumb fighting game.
Yeah, if you're looking at it from 2014. But
or
when you're
1990 suck.
No, come on. I think it's all, I don't think it's pre-rendered anything. It's supposed to look sort of 3D-ish.
Yeah.
But you're fighting in these giant, maybe like 100-foot tall mechs, and I think they're called Mars or something. Or Hars. But anyway, like, you're a pilot of this mech. Eat candy while you're fighting with a robot. So you're fighting with these two robots. I mean, it's a pretty standard fighting game in that respect. Like, the health bars, you got to knock each other down. But the one thing that they sort of touted that was new was the arena can have something that will hurt you. So, like, if you kick somebody into the wall in the arena that we played, there's this big electrified gate. Or like like cage-looking thing on the side. Excuse me, 1 second. Oh, man.
Excuse me, I need to vomit.
Is in my throat. And so if you hit that, then you'll get electrocuted. and so it'll do damage to you.
Well, that's kind of cool sounding. I like that.
Yeah, and so you'd fight, and you get to upgrade the robots. You get different sort of components and upgrade their fighting abilities and powers. Stuff
like what are the powers?
One of them was like a flame shooting robot, and you could upgrade the speed on them, because most of the time, like when you would hit, it was like a real slow, deliberate punch. But as you upgraded your speed and agility, like they would get really, really fast. And one of the mechs particular was good at being quick, so it got to be really fun to play with that really sort of fast moving one.
Huh.
So
is it available on Good Old Games or anything? Did you look that up?
I did not look that up, but
maybe it was available on COG.
COG?
Crappy old games.
Wrong. You didn't even play it.
I know. I'm just giving you crap.
So, yeah, if you have access to that somehow, check it out.
All right. Thanks, Aaron. It's now time for the question of the week. And this week's question angers me. Are you one of those invert y-axis weirdos?
Yes. Yes. And I say it proudly because I don't think it's weird. And I talk to other people and they have the exact same mentality as I do. And it's put in almost every single game now. So you know that enough people want it, that it's not a weird thing.
There are left-handed people that exist in this world. And
yeah.
That's weird, too.
Are you calling them weird?
Yes.
Are you calling left-handed people weird?
Yes, officially.
Dan DeHaan, everybody.
Now, did you play a lot of, like, flight simulators? Is that why you're this weird?
Not in particular.
No?
It's the same reason where, like, I'm right-handed, but I ride a skateboard goofy foot.
You should not tell anyone that.
Why?
Because
it's embarrassing. I mean, I think there are...
If I had a kid like you, I would force them. Force. You will not play with an inverted y-axis.
Why?
You will not.
Why?
It offends me. I don't know why. You know why it offends me? Because I think when I played games with people like you, you just go in and change the settings. And then I'd come in, I'm like, what did you do to my settings?
I remember those arguments.
What is this backwards y-axis crap? Push down to look up. Push up to look down.
It needs to be like something that's just on the main. When you hit start, just like a thing where you can, okay, press this to switch, not go deep into the menu system to like invert the y-axis.
Okay, so what about inverting the x-axis?
I've seen that on some games.
That's dumb too.
That's weird.
For me, that's
suddenly
weird. That's
I'm
weird.
not saying people are weird, but for me, that's weird.
Because the y-axis is so much different than the x.
Yes.
Obviously, I don't invert my y-axis.
Yeah, I think we've gotten
it's the equivalent of looking down with your head and up with your eyeballs to look up. In my mind.
In my, like, your head sort of like is the joystick. So like as the joystick goes down, like you're looking down. So like the joystick goes forward. Yes. When you look down with your head, it tilts down. It tilts sort of forward.
And that would be
in the same way in a game. No, because you push up on the joystick, which tilts the joystick sort of down and forward.
No.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
I do understand, but the way you just explained it was weird.
The fingers here, like push forward, and then your head.
Okay,
like
so you're saying to look down, you move your head forward, because you just said what you actually just said was to look down, you move your head down, and I agree.
Yeah, so.
No, I understand what you're saying. I'm just giving you crap because I remember the days of when you would change it and I'd be like, what is this crap? And have to rechange it.
I know. But I mean, everyone that I talk to who does that, it's the same reasoning. And it's like you said in the beginning, like it's the joystick or like flight stick mentality.
Yeah.
Of like wanting to pull up to look up and push forward to look down. Like in my mind, for whatever reason, that connection is there. And it really messes me up to have to like do it the other way.
I wonder if it's a right brain, left brain thing.
I don't know.
Are you, do you lean more left on your thinking?
Like,
not politically.
Creativity? Yeah. I mean, like creativity.
Like, have you taken a test to see if you are more left brained or more right brained?
And if I have, it's been a long time ago.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just wondering because I'm hardcore right brained, so that's why I wonder where that lies. So hey, let us know if you're a weirdo like Aaron. Send us an email, podcast@uph.com, or tweet us at UPH Show is our handle.
Yeah.
And guess what?
You can also what?
We're doing the weekly giveaway also before we go into the closers and plugs. Because guess what? We're giving away season 2 of The Walking Dead this week.
Yeah, another Telltale Games game.
This is the entire season of season 2. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. All right. And if you want to win that, we're going to tweet a message on Twitter. Mm-hmm. Just reply to that. And hey, follow us if you don't mind. We'd appreciate that.
That'd be awesome.
It's time for closers and plugs.
Yeah. So if you want to discuss any of these things, you can email us at podcast@uphshow.com.
Our Twitter handle is @UPHshow.
Mm-hmm. And check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/UPHshow.
We're on iTunes and Stitcher. Please subscribe, rate, listen, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. And we got a Steam group, Unbelievable Power Hour.
Sorry, I just got distracted because my mom is trying to FaceTime me right now. Thanks, Mom. You know what? dandahan.com is now up. And hold on 1 second, everybody. We're going to bring my mom on the show. So, hey, everyone. Janice DeHaan is now on the show. And hey, Mom.
Hi, Dance Mom.
So we were just wondering, Mom, where can people go to see the artwork and movie and everything that your son has created?
You're kidding me, I hope.
Nope. All right. We'll call you back later. Janice DeHaan, everyone.
Okay, I need Wii information.
Okay, I will give you Wii information later. Goodbye. All right. dandahan.com, aaronwiesinger.com, @dandahan78. Go see our movie Unhappy Campers at youtube.com/unhappycampersmovie. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And then you can see our beautiful faces and like our vids. Mm-hmm. So thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye. And 1 second, then my soundboard closed. And here we go. Bye. All right.